All right, welcome to the Next Level Live. Thanks for joining us today. Before we get into our numbers, I just want to announce, if you've not seen this or heard this yet, the annual convention tickets are now available for purchase on fflconvention.com. We're running an early bird special, so general admission, normally $99, is down to $49. Premier seating, $299, is dropped down to $199, and the VIP tickets are now sold out. So get on the website before the rest of these tickets sell out, and the early bird special will run now until July 1st. We look forward to seeing you guys in Irving, Texas next year. Moving on. So numbers for the week. May week 2. As a company, we issued $6.5 million in life insurance, which brings our May month-to-date total to $17.2 million. Puts us over $152 million for the year. So great job that everybody went out last week and helped families. Our agent spotlight of the week. Austin Harless from FFL Electrify has helped over 250 families year to date. Congratulations, Austin. And our rising star is Drake Geramoni from FFL America with over 70 families helped last month. Congratulations, Drake. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for some amazing training by Nick Zientek right here on TNL. All right, welcome to the Next Level Live. Got my man Nick Zientek with us today.
Yep.
Zientek. Damn, I screwed it up. Zientek. Well, I appreciate you coming up, dude.
Sure.
And if you've not seen Nick's True Talk, check that out. Great podcast, very inspiring. But today we're going to talk about some sales stuff. Which you touched on this a little bit on the podcast. You made a statement to me about how this is not high pressure sales, right?
Correct.
In fact, you don't even like high pressure sales. It's not. But you sell a lot. You help a lot of families. You're close to Hall of Fame numbers right now. And I love that you say, I don't even really pay attention to the numbers. You just go out and help people. You do it for the purpose, not the profit, right?
Correct.
You made a statement about informing people to make the right decision. What did you say specifically?
Yeah. So sales, my definition of sales, man, is inform somebody to where they can make an educated decision.
Got it. What does that mean?
So that means it's my job to educate myself to where I can articulate it to you, to where it makes I provide full clarity of what it does.
Yeah. That has to happen first.
It's
kind of like on the airplane, right? Put your mask on first.
Yep.
So educate yourself,
Yep.
or you're not going to be able to educate your clients.
Exactly.
Or inform them, as you said.
Exactly, man. So, and then that education to yourself is going to come back is feedback by all the no's. So if you diagnose the no's, Ray Dalio wrote a book called Principles, and in the book he has a framework, and it goes, first thing you do, and with anything, right, is you make a goal. Then step 2, so it's a 5-step process.
Okay.
Step 1, goal. Step 2 is a problem. So the first thing you're going to find after your goal is your problem. Either you find it or it's finding you. Either way, it's coming, right? Then you diagnose it. What is the problem? Create a design to fix the problem, and then you execute.
Got it. Dude, most people don't make it past that first step. They come up with a goal, and they go, but this is why I can't do it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then that's where they bounce out. Instead of saying, all right, I got a clip there, so it doesn't matter. So with sales, man, it's always something. And you can diagnose it by milestone. So I can never get somebody's social security number. Okay, so that's where you need to fix that. You need to, and so you have your target point. I don't have enough rapport. These people don't feel comfortable enough with me to where I can get their social security number. How do I develop more rapport? Okay, maybe I need to start asking more questions in the beginning. Yeah. Maybe I need to find a common interest and we need to have some type of a conversation. Maybe I need to be on FaceTime with them to where they can see me face to face. Whatever that thing is, try all of those until it eventually works, and it might be a culmination of a couple of those. I need to be on FaceTime, and then I need to spend a couple more minutes in the beginning kind of just shooting it and see what we can have in common.
Got it.
If you get the banking information, it could be the same thing. You know what I mean? So no matter what it is in that part of the process, once you get to that part and you always get stopped there, it could be the intro. You know what I mean? They could just be banging on you. Okay, so maybe I'm not confident enough. Maybe I'm not sharp enough the first 5 seconds on the phone. Okay, maybe I need to analyze that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no matter what part of that is, continue to fix that. But then as far as educate them, people don't want to be told what to do.
Right.
They really don't. They want to be informed to where they are the ones making the decision. Mm-hmm. So this is what it does do. This is what it doesn't do. And we were just even talking about that as far as people that we work with.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Shoot it straight.
Yeah.
Tell me what you will do. Tell me what you won't do.
Yeah.
That way my expectation isn't going to exceed. All frustration is met by unmet expectation. Mm-hmm. Everybody who's frustrated, they're frustrated because they had an expectation. They expected something of somebody who didn't deliver. But it was an unmet expectation. You know what I mean? So who made the expectation? They did.
Correct.
So then they get frustrated when it doesn't come through, and then it's the other person's fault.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, our clients, they have an expectation before we don't know 100% what it is. I mean, like you said, you never know what you're going to run into. I mean, yes, you can kind of put clients into some boxes, right? Like, you know, you get people that has these objections. You get people that have health conditions that can't get it. Sure, but you still don't really know 100% what you're going into. And you don't know their expectation.
No, but you can also cope with whatever. Like, once you do it enough, man, you can cope with what the objection really is.
Correct.
Is it finance? All right, perfect. Because, okay, I'm going to pressure sell you into something that you cannot afford, but guess what? Month 1 or even 2, if you're lucky, it's going to fall off, dude.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So you can be Mr. Master Closer, but again, if your placement is not where it needs to be, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I'd rather have it to where, like, okay, if it is finance, let me know. And then how much better is it going to be for me? And if, you know, whoever agrees, and whoever doesn't. But, like, okay, let me follow up with you in 3 months. Yep. Put you on my calendar, keep you in front of me. That way I can just keep a pulse on you. That's exactly what I tell them. They're like, all right, perfect. And then guess what? The probabilities of that converting into something that does stick in place, even if it's 10%, 10% is better than 0.
Right. Because
you could pressure sell them right now and it ain't going to stick.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or it could be when the time's right and it's like, you know what, man, you haven't been putting any pressure on me. I had a guy call me back, dude. Friday, left me a voicemail. He said, hey, Nick, you know, that happened. You know what I mean? They called me back. Hey, you know, I love how you want to put pressure on me. Now's a better time. You know, I can afford it
so
now.
You met with him a few months ago.
I met with him a couple months ago.
He calls you back.
And he called me, left a voicemail, and then, sure enough, wound up helping him, dude. You know what I mean? But it wasn't the right time at that time. You know, so he made the adjustments financially that he needed to make in order to make it work now. Yeah. And again, who knows what's going to happen between now and 3 months, bro? They can wind up losing somebody or something can wind up sparking the light, say, I need to take care of this now. Right. So now I'm going to readjust my finances. Now I'm going to cut back whatever I need to cut back on or whatever. Like that's something could happen possibly in that time frame. But I'm big on definitely just being able to be honest with the person. And just tell them what it does, dude. Yeah. Like, that's all it is, man. Like,
and there, you know, I've been in situations where maybe I've overinformed at times, right? And have confused people. Yeah. And then there's that balance. Because if you underinform, then I think you're asking for objections, right? And a lot of times the objection, you may not even know where it came from, but it's because they don't have enough information. Yeah. Right. And then when you overinform, then it's like now you're confusing the hell out of them. And they're like, dude, I need to think about this because I gave you 12 options. I talked to you about 3 different products. Like, so how are you finding that balance of informing the right amount?
Okay. So the problem with underinforming, number one, is somebody can come behind you and rewrite your business.
Sure.
Because if they inform them a little bit better than you, they're gonna find your out, dude. And they're gonna get you.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So you got to make sure, like, okay, you know, I got you. Yep. I'm gonna tell you everything that this thing does, everything how it's exactly how it's supposed to work, the good, the bad, and ugly, right? So you know that I'm credible, right? Yep. And then also I explain it to you at a point to where you do understand everything in a time frame. So number one, desperation comes, you know, a lot of people, they get super desperate when they don't have enough appointments. So that's number one, right? Yep. So if you don't have enough appointments, you're going to be so desperate to make a sale that they're going to feel that. You know what I mean? Like, but if it's literally like, okay, this is what it is, this is what it does do, this is what it doesn't do, does this make sense? Okay, the next steps are X, Y, and Z. Yeah. If they're like, well, I don't really know, you know, okay, perfect, because I actually have 30 people that literally I have to talk to right now. You know what I mean? So you're not being rude, but it's like, all right, perfect, think about it. You know, like, get back to me. Boom, next. You know what I mean? Like, and the more next you have, the more confidence you're going to have. Eventually, you're going to be, you know, selling from your heels. Like, you don't have to have that pressure, man. But
so
then
big key is having enough appointments in the first place, because if you have the deck stacked, you're not going to be desperate, and you'll walk away from the ones you're supposed to walk away from. Yep. I think when you're desperate, you know you're supposed to walk away from it. Yep. But you're doing the whole, well, let's just see if you're eligible. Let's just send it in, and you can cancel that anytime. Dude, don't even take that application.
No, I don't. Nope, I don't. And if that's what it's going to be, I need to know that you're certain. You know what I mean? Like, if we submit the application, you get approved, it's going to draft, and then this thing's going to get fired up for you.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, this isn't to see if you get approved, deal. If you get approved, it's starting. Right. Like, make sure we know that, because I literally don't have 20 to 30 minutes to go through this app with you for no reason. Sure. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see if you get we're good. That's one step. We are going to see if you get approved, and then this is going to stay approved until you die.
Yes. You know what I mean? Like, exactly.
So let's do that, right? But also, like, over giving too much information.
Yeah.
Number one, it takes too long. Number two,
Sure.
it shows that you're not a professional because you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking in circles, and then you're
Correct.
confusing them because you're confused.
Yep.
So you don't even know, like, where did I lose you at? Oh,
Right.
I lost myself here, and then I lost you too. Now I don't. Now I'm like in La La Land. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's like, okay, what is sequence? Dude, I'm huge on sequence. Like, okay, from the time you pick the phone up to the time I submit that application, what does that look like? And how can I optimize that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how can I make that the most efficient way that I could possibly do it, man? Like, okay, from the time we say hello to the time we say goodbye, what is the ideal scenario? Okay, what pitfalls could arise in there? How do I make sure that once that pitfall arises, that I get right back on track and I'm right back chugging along, man?
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, that if you're doing in-home, if you're doing no matter what product you like to do,
You're selling mostly IULs now, right?
I'm doing mostly all
Over
IUL.
the phone, in person,
Zoom,
everything's on Zoom. How long you been selling IULs?
I started them, I would say, in probably August last year.
Yeah.
And I was getting annihilated for a couple
Really?
months trying to find my flow, dude.
Yeah.
Trying to find my sequence, trying to make it, again, like there was many phone calls. I'm like, I don't even know what I just talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally lost myself.
Yeah, if you're confusing yourself, imagine the client.
It's bad, right? Exactly. So now I have it like such a streamlined process, man, to where it's like, even on a day that I'm having brain fog, dude,
Yeah.
I'm so thankful. Like, I know exactly the next word.
Got it.
It's like I say the same thing verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of building credibility and little anecdotes,
Yeah.
I say the same thing verbatim as far as explaining what it is and how it does, because I found a way to where I can make it. When I explain it that way, I can explain it to a CFO or a janitor. It doesn't matter who you are. It's in such layman terms, man.
So walk me through, like, high level, your process from the minute. Now, are you booking appointments? Are you doing one call close?
I book appointments.
You book appointments. So you got your appointment set up. Kind of walk me through high level from the beginning, like your rapport. How long is that? When does that start? When do you transition? What are kind of your steps in your sequence?
So first, as soon as they say hello, I feel like if they got to show it up or not. Hey, how you doing? This is Nicholas. We have our appointment scheduled for the IUL. How's it going?
Yeah.
Good. Like, if they're short, I'm like, yeah, perfect, man. How's your day going? So I'll ask them the same question again. Just like, I need you to open up a little bit. Like, we're not about to have these little short, one-off. Yeah, it's going good. And then I'll probably hit something with the weather. Yeah, I'm in Maryland. It's raining here, man. What's it like in Texas? Like, I'm really, it's probably sunny and hot as hell. Like, because I just talked to somebody before you who's in Texas.
Yeah. Like, I already know, but yeah, I got you.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. So I got you in Texas. All right, so tell me. And so, dude, the first thing I do is I take my sales hat off of me and I put it on you. All right, so tell me, man, what you go with the IUL? What are you looking to utilize this for? So now you're selling me. I'm not selling you, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm not. That also, what that does is that prevents me from having to over-explain.
Right.
I don't need to over-explain because you tell me what you want.
Yep.
So I spend maybe 10 extra seconds on that one specific thing, and that 10 extra seconds means, like you were saying, man, as far as the cash value, so this is, where it's going to, like you were saying.
And I'd assume there's probably a handful of answers. You're going to get just about the same thing.
Generational wealth, cash value, tax-free retirement.
Got it.
It's really, every once in a while you'll catch some living benefits in there. That's the value add. You know what I mean? So, like, you just, again, like, as we talked about on, what was the other podcast?
Oh, True Talk. Yeah.
True Talk. It's a huge value in there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So definitely that's a value add. Okay.
Got it.
So there, and then I'll go into, what it does. Then I'll send them the Zoom link. So the way that the Zoom has built so much value to me is I was talking with a guy, and he was trying to sell me like a consulting, like an hour, like a webinar or something.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, I'm good, man. So I like brushed him off. He was like, all right. So he called me back and he got me on FaceTime.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, if you would have never got me on FaceTime, you would have never. I was like, just give me one of the things. Man. You know what I mean? Right? He was like, dude, you're my first lead pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I felt bad for him.
Wow.
I'm like, all right, bro, give me something. You know what I mean? Let me buy something from you.
But because he got you on FaceTime, you actually did it.
So that was worth
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands. You know what I mean? Like of dollars in
Yeah.
gold. You know.
So
what I
you
mean?
start on the phone and then send them the Zoom link and then.
Start on the phone. Yeah.
Got it.
And I don't even tell them it's a Zoom link. Just to prevent all that, like, I don't even know how to work Zoom. I just say, I sent you a link that will allow me to share my screen with you.
Got it.
Like, they'll figure out it's Zoom once they get to the link.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't, like, I try to make everything, like, simple.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. And then, again, from there, I'll ask them, I'll go through, you want to continue?
Yeah, keep it. So, all right, you get them on Zoom. What's next?
Next, I'll say most people contribute to an IUL just like you would like a savings account, like an investment account, something like that, based off percentage of income. So
Okay.
people are familiar with that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're familiar with putting aside X amount of money for future date.
Sure.
Right? So 401ks, IRAs have wound up, instilling that in people's mind to where that's how that works. So that's what always makes most sense to me. So I'm like, okay, so what do you make in a year? 100 grand. Okay, 5% would be this. 10% would be this. You want to see higher? You want to see lower? Again, you let me know. I'm not pressure selling. You let me know what you want to see illustrated, and I'll run the report on that. So I'm a customer service rep now still.
Got it.
All right, so I'm not selling you. You tell me what you want to see.
Right.
Boom, they'll pull it up. Okay, death benefit, living benefits, cash value. This is how you take loans. This is how, this is a MEC. This is a minimum.
Yeah.
Next steps are submit an application.
Got it. What do they normally say at that point?
They're either going to think about it.
Yeah.
They may have more questions, or they say, all right, perfect.
Got it. What percentage of out of 10 appointments, how many go, I want to think about it? How many are ready to move forward at that point?
Closing rate is 40.
40. Got it. So if you get to think about it at that point, what do you do?
Okay, perfect. I'm going to send you the illustration over that way. And in the body of the email, I'm going to provide a synopsis on what pages we went over today. That way you have all that information, how long you need to think about it.
Yeah, they go, about a week, Nick.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to schedule you the same time next week. Good?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Boom. I'll send it.
Yep.
Like, I'm not taking a lot of time, and I also don't want them to think I'm desperate, because I'm not.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, but you also really got to not be desperate.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So that helps.
Which is hard in the beginning.
It's hard in the beginning, yeah. But
and it's almost like, not almost, you got to kind of fake it till you make it. Like,
Yep.
you probably are desperate in the beginning, but you got to pretend you're not.
Yep.
For a period of time. How long? I don't know. Until you're not desperate anymore.
Yep.
But you got to, because to your point, they will, whatever you want to call it, commission, Brett, this, that, they're going to sense it.
And the thing with the IULs, man, it's a lot of them are fully underwritten, so they take a long time. So
sure,
they're gonna opt out, dude. If you pull a hamstring to get it done right there, you'll get it done probably.
Yeah.
But then guess what? Once it's like, hey, your first premium is gonna draft the next day. Yeah, I don't want that.
Right.
So or they're gonna call the carrier and say, I told this guy I didn't even want this, man.
Yep.
And then guess what? Now you got that, and it's like, I'm good on all that.
So you said your closing ratio is about 40%.
Yeah.
Which is not bad at all. But I bet you your persistency is probably through the roof.
Oh, it's
like it's got to be
same
above
thing
90,
FEX,
right?
Man.
Yeah.
Same thing with FEX, because I made it clear of what it did and what it didn't do. You know what I mean? Like, that's super important to me.
Yeah. But to your point, as long as you have the deck stacked, you can afford to close 40%. But the sticking is going to be through the roof. Like, you don't want to close 80% and then half of those fall off. Then you're back at 40 anyways.
And
right?
not to mention, like, that 40% that falls off, dude. That's just gives you anxiety. Bro.
Absolutely.
And it makes you hate what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really does, because it's like, I'm doing all this, and so now you're like putting numbers in place that aren't even unrealized gains, right? So it's like I'm putting all these numbers here, and then it's like, well, I thought I was going to help this many families. Now I narrow down to this many families. This thing sucks, and then you wind up in that state of mind, dude. It's inevitable. Instead of saying, all right, I feel pretty comfortable with that one. I feel pretty comfortable with that. All right, that wasn't good. Now it's not the right time for that. And just take it at face value of what it is, man.
And one thing I love about what you do is that you challenge them, because to think about it's an easy, objection for most people. I mean, think about, like, when we go shopping in the store. Like, you bought that shirt from the store?
Yeah.
You walk in, what's the person say? Can I help you?
Right.
What do you say?
No. Good.
No. But you probably knew you wanted to get a T-shirt. You may even knew you wanted to get a white T-shirt. Yep. And you would have been in and out the store a lot quicker if you were like, dude, I'm a large and I need a white T-shirt. They're like, all right, stand right there, I'll grab it.
Exactly.
But we're so conditioned, I don't want to be sold. Like, dude, you're buying a damn thing anyway.
That's exactly why I do that in the beginning, bro. Yeah. Just imagine if somebody came up, what is that? You looking for a shirt, man? You looking for pants? What are you looking to do today?
Yeah.
Is it not the same thing?
Exactly.
But I bet you're going to tell me what you're looking for.
100%.
Somebody walks in a furniture store, like, I don't know why people don't, especially like that salesperson who's doing it. Why do they not realize? Like, bro, everybody tells you no. Why don't you switch the approach?
Exactly.
Like,
you looking for a couch, bro? No, man, I'm looking for a recliner. Like,
right, perfect.
Versus, can I help you with something? You're like, no, dude, leave me alone. Why are you acting weird?
If you need me, I'm over here.
Yeah,
like peeking around stuff. Like,
great, stay over there, bro.
You catch them like peeking behind the dresser, like, what the heck?
But you challenge them, because think about it as what we're all accustomed to say, right? I'm all set. I'm good. I don't need help. I'll think about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But you go, well, all right, how long do you think about it? About a week? All right, next week, same time. Now, they can push back and go, no, I'm good. Then like, dude, it's not even worth it.
So, yeah. And then the thing that just helps you alleviate, just helps you, like, comprehend that is, what was it? Was the price? Okay, fine. Right. I'm good with that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody can't afford it and they wanted information and they're a little over their head and they're strapped right now financially, and this is not something, I don't want you on my books, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's price, great. If you didn't like me, can I fix that? Yeah, some people just don't like.
Correct.
There's 7 billion people in the world, maybe 8. Everybody's not going to like you,
right?
And
exactly.
that's okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, that, or it's very unlikely is it going to be companies. So usually it's one of those three things. It's either they can't afford it, they don't like you, or they don't like the company.
Sure.
It's out of how many insurance companies are there?
Sure. Dozens, hundreds.
Right, hundreds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that is probably, I don't know, maybe 3% of the time. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's so small, man. So it's usually
usually the other two. Yeah.
It's money, bro.
Yep.
it's money, or
there's something you're doing to get
you
them not to
didn't do a
trust you.
good job to it.
Yep.
Or you didn't do a good job explaining, or you didn't give enough information, or you gave too much. So if you could find that sweet spot, then you could really narrow it down from there and say, okay, it's money.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can afford it.
Sure.
Maybe you can in 3 months.
Yep.
So if it's money, tell me now. That way I'm not booking you for next week, but I will book you again, but let's do 3 months instead of next week.
Correct.
Let's not waste my time or yours. You know what I mean? So, and I think everybody just likes that, man. Like, you could just be like, it's easier, bro.
Yep. And it's easier on your state of mind. Yep. Like, you're not fighting with that. Like, dude, I remember the early days of, like, I felt like every appointment was a fight, dude. You know, like, you're arguing, you're this, that. And it's like sometimes, you'll get them to close, but then you get the call Monday morning, like, can you not send that app in? Like, I used to dread Monday mornings early on because we ran over the weekend. We were in home, and we didn't – this is before we had it figured out.
Jay-Z had an interview with a guy, and a lot of times, like, I'm from Baltimore, man. So, like, a lot of times in the neighborhood, somebody looks at you and say, what you looking at, man?
Yep.
But what you think is they see your pain. They see your agony. They see that you're hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like you put the wolf mentality out. Like, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at me?
Yep.
Why is it a problem if somebody looks at you? But that also carries into the next meeting too, bro.
Yep.
If you go from frustrated on one and you go frustrated, guess what? That cascades, bro. And then you're that ignorant sales guy who they don't want to talk to.
Yeah.
Which is the epitome of exactly what they thought they were showing up to talk to. And it's like, I'm good with you, man.
Right. Yeah,
But
now you met their bad expectation.
Bro,
you now met
you
it.
show up like, hey, man, you know what I mean? Like, you're cool. Like, you want to do it, do it. Hopefully I can help you out with this. Hopefully I can explain it to the extent that you get it. You know what I mean? Like, and if not, then, hey, that's my fault. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to be that, but you got to feel that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
a level of indifference. Like, I mean, we used to tell ourselves this, that we have thousands of people that want our help. I'm just a guy, get you the information, explain it to you, and help you out if you want me to help you.
Yeah.
And move on to the next one. But if you truly believe that, then you're right. You approach it not from a sense of desperation, from almost an indifference. Like, dude, here's what it is. Oh, you want to think about it? All right, cool. I'll follow up next week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too soon. Well, then just hit me back when you're ready. I'll move on to my next one.
Yeah.
But like you said early on, if you have enough appointments, you can actually do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk away when you ain't got no more appointments.
Right.
You don't have any more leads.
Yep.
And you're like, this is my last one. If I don't make this sale, I can't pay my mortgage.
But that also, so again, you gotta perfect the craft to an extent, man. So like that's the appointments are going to be based off of the set. So like, how strong are you at setting the appointment? That set is going to be primarily based off of the first 5 seconds, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're not confident or you're frustrated or they're a problem to you,
right?
You ain't gonna set.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to be known like you submitted this, I got it, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna give you the information you want.
Yep.
Boom.
We said when we're doing a True Talk that like this business, it changes, it evolves. Faster now than ever.
Yeah.
You know, like dude, when I got licensed in 2009, and one of the big changes for us was like the e-app. You know, it was like, oh my God, you know, like, and then final expense. Dude, now it's like there's 18 new lead types in a year. There's all these different products. IUL. Now there's instant IULs. Like there's instant decision IULs. Like this, it just changes so fast.
Leads, CRMs, a lot of it. You know, and then I'm always. Jamie and Frank, they're funny, man. They're like, okay, the idea department's closed.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, we should change this. We should change that. We should change that. They're always like, Nick, you're always trying to change
That's a good old Sean. That's a Sean go-to. Tell them the new idea department's closed. How many times I've had to tell people that for Sean?
Yeah. So now we got like, all right, once a month, man, we sit back and see like what should be changed. Because like, we're changing things. The next thing you know, the change leads to change leads to change. And it's like, dude.
But there's two things that have remained consistent, at least as long as I've been in this business. There's 2 things about this business that you control: your attitude and activity.
For sure.
And if you maintain those, I believe you'll be able to hit whatever goals you set, whatever they are.
And you know what, man? That reminds me. A lot of people in matrimonies are like, will you bring 50-50? That's false, man. You got to bring 100, and that's
Absolutely.
The same thing there, bro. If you're lacking even 50% of one of those, attitude or activity, you're out.
Yeah.
Bro. You need 100% of each.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 100%.
Dude, we've seen him. The guy who's most positive person in the world, Nick. But he don't do shit. Won't get off his couch. But he's, oh, man, everything's great. You're like, dude, you're losing your house, your car, your wife's leaving you. But you're just smiling around like, dude, why don't you get a job or something? Go to work.
Did you see that clip? It's like, I still got my van.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But on the other front, you could be working you'd be the hardest worker, pull the right, hardest worker in the room, but you're negative as shit.
Yep.
Dude, all my leads suck, Nick. I'll tell you what, man. This last guy, he was he was this and that. And you're not going to be able to help anyone. No. To your point, you got to have them both at 100%.
Yep.
day in and day out.
Yeah, so that's the mantra that even like my brand, man, it's like purpose over profit, man. And one of my good friends, man, he has a clothing company, so he really like he put it on, you know what I mean? But that's so true. Like anytime that equation gets flipped,
sure,
it goes south.
We talked about it on your True Talk, right? You had a period of time your first year where it got flipped.
Yep.
And you were about to leave the business.
Yep. And then that comes from lack of appointments or lack of understanding.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Lack of appointments, dude, or lack of understanding. If you can't understand why that you got that last no, and if you can understand it, be okay with that because it made sense. Like, okay, again, affordability or whatever. You know what I mean? But like, at least you know. You know what I mean? That's going to provide you clarity to where like, and if it is you, good. At least you know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming up doing this. I really do. Hope you guys listen. And one thing to listen, but then also let's put this to work, right? Yeah. Implement this. Inform. Would you say inform enough so that they can make an educated decision versus a high-pressure sale?
Yep.
And if you do that, dude, I think you'll hit whatever goals you're looking to hit here with us.
And then you can even practice that on friends and family. You know what I mean? Like pitch them.
Sure.
And see if they would like really buy. You know what I mean? I was talking with one of my buddies the other day, and we'll wrap up with this, man. I was talking to him, and then he was talking about he's working for a roofing and construction company.
Yeah.
And then so he was doing admin. I was like, bro, you should probably get into sales, man, and make your own destiny. And I was like, when you get to the door, just boom, 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 say this, say this. He's like, have you done this? Right? I'm like, no, but you know what I mean? But it's all the same. Like, it's all alignment. Like, okay, make sure it makes sense all the way through. You know what I mean? So it's like, but once you practice that enough, like that, dude, that can never be taken. I was listening to Alex Hormozy the other day, man. He was like, that can never be taken from you.
Correct.
Never.
Yep.
The only thing that can never be taken from you is your education, man. So if you
100%.
educate yourself on how to streamline a process and sequence it to where it makes such good sense, like you can do that. Literally, all you're doing is filling in the gap with a different service or product. But once you have that and like you master that, there's no limit, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep, that's strong. Well, thanks again, dude. I appreciate you coming up doing this. Guys, thanks for watching, tuning in. You know where to find us every week right here on The Next Level Live. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you've not already. Share this with your agents. And check us out next week, same time, same channels. We'll see you.